What's up, boys? We're back with some more Aethermancer Early Access, a fantastic roguelite creature collector from the devs of Monster Sanctuary. Today we're going to be starting off with Jotun, who is sort of a tanky Thorns Minotaur. Whenever damage is dealt to his shield, he returns some damage back to the enemy. And then he also has an ability that redirects hits to himself while shielding himself at the same time. We're going to try and build fully around that. He also has a basic attack there, which we probably won't be using that much if I can avoid it. But for our second creature, we are going to grab the Gargoyle. He has some cool shield synergy where he can apply the sidekick buff to himself based on shielding to himself and other creatures. He can shield everyone in your party, and then he also has a basic attack that will shield himself a bit. So we are definitely going to take him in and try to do a bunch of shielding and thorns damage here. The dreaded Gargoyle. So we start with some pre-equipment, +1 ether, but health is reduced by 6. That's actually not bad. Health isn't super important since we'll be shielding a lot. And support action convert 1 ether into wild ether. We will be using those quite a bit as well. We can really use either of these. I think the 1 raw ether makes a bit more sense, and we don't have as much of a downside for that. So I guess we'll toss that on Gargoyle. We'll probably want something super good for the Minotaur with like a higher rarity if we can find one, since he's going to be kind of the focal point of the build, I think. So wind, I think that works with the Gargoyle. So we always want to have 1 wind available for that if we have any single target attacks that taunt. So those both work. If we do that, we won't have any left over, but we can also interrupt him and do a ton of damage there. I think that's fine, actually. Then they'll just have to basic attack over here or here, either works. And then this guy is doing an AoE attack. Can we interrupt that? Yes. I don't think you can redirect the AoE attacks, so we definitely want to get those out of the way whenever possible. I mean, I think you can't taunt the AoE attacks. I think I messed that up. But we can do the easy finish there. Salve common equipment. End of combat cleanse to corruption, heal generator. Don't think that matters too much, we'll just put that over here. And then water should be doable. So 2 basic attacks, we'll probably toss out a Rar here to get some Thorns damage going. And then we can do a Mineralize if I want, but I don't think that's super important. We'll just get some damage going over here. He taunts that, does some damage back, and then that actually staggers him. What is he doing? He's shielding himself and redirecting. Oh, he has the same RAR. Okay. Can we stagger that? No, we don't actually have that much offense. Okay, we'll just try and get some good damage over here then. And then I guess redirecting doesn't do a whole lot when he's doing that as well. May as well just punch him. He's now doing a single target attack, so if we can't finish him, we want to taunt that. And we will have stuff left over after that. But looks like we have the finish anyways. And then here's our first level up. Time to see what kind of cool stuff we can add into the build for these guys. Retaliate, generate random ether. Okay, that sounds awesome. When the monster is attacked or receives non-attack damage, I definitely want that. Aging every 2 age generates wild ether. That would be quite nice as well. Retaliate, shield self. Triggers 3 times, cleanse 3 corruption. Oh man, I want all of these. I think just having a lot of ether generation and redirecting basically everything we can to this guy sounds pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna go with this one, but I do want all of them there. Attack deals a hit with damage equal to the total amount of power in the party. I don't think we're really going for that. Every 3 power applied, generate 1 random ether. Again, kind of hard to do. Sidekick applied to this monster. Okay, that's actually interesting since he'll gain that based on shielding everyone. So I think we can work with that and just have a ton of random ether generation then. So for our third monster, we're going to want to try and get a damage dealer then, I think. Start of your turn, shield self for 2. Okay, that's actually not bad then. I guess we can probably replace that then. Oh, actually I could have put that on the gargoyle as well, and that would have interacted with his passive maybe? Formed a bond in Pilgrim's Rest. 2 corruption cleanse? Okay. Oh, there's a little bit of money up there. Oh yeah, I forget what these are. Loot drop rare, so that's an item. Ether Spring is, I think, cleansing some of the corruption. So I guess we'll take a rare item here. Then our third creature, we need a damage dealer. I think this guy's kind of on the supporty side. Although Sidekick actually would be good. Cockatrice is a tank. 1 temporary power on Retaliate. I think I'm going to try this guy. That works with attacking. He has the Sidekick synergy with the Gargoyle. And then if we can build up some power, that would actually give us some good damage scaling throughout the fight. That sounds pretty nice. Are there any cliffs we can hit them from? I don't think I can get up there. Can we get in? No, I don't think that one's going to be in range. Oh well. This guy's doing single target with lots of poison. I'd like to interrupt that if we can. That's not going to work. So we're not really going to be able to interrupt a lot of stuff. We can do some water over there. I think I'm always redirecting on this guy now that we have 3 different dudes and we want to do a lot of the thorns damage. Then after that, that's pretty good. Fire damage and sidekick. Does that do any? No, it doesn't. Well, we'll put that out for the sidekick, and then I guess probably do a basic attack over here. Get the sidekick on him at least. And we got some thorns damage over there. Maybe I should have just shielded. That's kind of a lot of damage, actually. So now we can hit the doggo pretty hard with that. We're probably always redirecting here. Yeah, I guess we should start building that up, unless we can finish him off. That would actually be pretty helpful. Yeah, I think we can. Could also stagger him, but the basic attack isn't that important. We will probably need both hits to do that, so I'll go for the shield generation here. Then can a basic attack do that? Yes, okay, nice. We can get some ether off that as well. So that's doing poison, and then that's doing a ton of damage. We should definitely try and get that out of there if we can. I have 11 water ether from the retaliate thing on him. Funny. What do we want now? We could do the second stagger over here. And then we can finish off either of them. And then we need to find everything on this level still. What is that? There's something hidden behind the trees. What is that? Oh, that's their traits on those guys. This guy's doing weakness. If we could get that out of there, that would be pretty nice. We can do that and then a taunt. Yeah, I think that's fine. Wait, I wanted the taunts. There we go. That guy's doing a big single target hit. That guy's doing a big single target with a lot of healing. We want to get him out of there if we can. I think sidekick makes sense for the extra damage. And then we'll have to attack with this guy, I think. Could interrupt that, but we can also redirect those. Could also blast one of them with that, actually. That probably makes more sense. That one's 9, that one's 12. Yeah, let's do that. And that should be our dog level. Ooh, and a Minotaur as well. Monsters 3 or fewer H stacks, gain 1, shield 1 for each H stack. Costs 1 water, but it's a free action, which would be very easy to do with all the ether generation we have already. Lots of damage against a single enemy, 3 or fewer age, apply H as self, or deal less damage if you don't have a lot. Retaliate trigger 8 damage against the enemy, free action. So both of these sound really good. We would want some other source of age generation if I went with this so that we could keep stacking after 3. So this only does damage if you activate it and then you get attacked afterwards, I think? But I mean, Thorns makes sense for the Thorns Minotaur, so we're probably trying that anyways. An attack, deal a hit with damage equal to the total power. That's going to be kind of hard to use. At the end of your turn, deal a water hit to all enemies, equals 1 for every 5 healing received this round. That's going to be kind of hard to scale up as well. 50 healing, we can slowly build that up with his passive on auto attacks. That's probably the only one we can really use here with our current builds. But we also already have so much. I think I'm just going to toss a reroll here. 3 wind ether. We have some of that there and there, so that's pretty good actually. Ally triggers sidekick, shield both attackers for 2. Ooh, that's really cool. I want both of these. So triggering sidekick is when this guy has it and then someone else attacks, I think. I think this is probably the easiest to use here. I still can't loot the box, even though they're glowing. Big single target hit, single target and sidekick, and then basic attacks. So interrupting either of those would be good if we could. And we also want to focus the wind stuff now that we just got that sidekick passive for it. I'm probably gonna roar though. So we would have to do mineralize here. Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. We want to get all the hits on him we can, so we need the wind ether for that. Then that leaves us with just that. Can't really do a lot with it. And then now we should be able to do basically anything, I think. And then we probably just want to take one of these guys out to lower the overall damage a bit. The guy's staggered, so he's not doing anything. Oh, nice, we got the sidekick as well. Six damage, applies sidekick to self. It is wind-based, that's good. 15 against a single enemy. Temporary power to target ally, shield for 2 for each power stack, free action. It's actually not bad because it's free action and we generate so much free ether from being hit. But I think I like the wind sidekick thing. This is the gargoyle, so we do want to be shielding everyone a lot with him. So in that case, actually, the free action probably makes the most sense then. Release a soul to grant health +5 or take a soul. I think those are the things you use to summon new monsters if you lose one. And I'm never gonna lose one, so we'll put +5 HP on one of these guys who isn't going to be shielding themselves as much. Oh, that's the end over there, it looks like. And we have an Aether Spring, a Merchant, or an Envoy. I forget what the Envoy is. Let's check that out. Oh, I guess if you aren't happy with your current 3, you could replace one. But I think I like this combo. Oh, what was that? Collection of statues. Okay, nothing, I guess. Places that only our monsters can sense. Inaccessible terrain. Oh, I think this is a new upgrade you can get in town now, but I didn't have enough crystals to unlock it. So I don't think I can actually do anything with this currently. Ethereal ore. Pick artifacts. Consume all your ether, generate 7 random ether. That can help get you started on the very first turn. Break 3 poise. That could be helpful to interrupt a pretty dangerous attack. We kind of have infinite ether after the first turn, so I think this probably makes more sense. Temporary power to target ally. So I guess that's only really going to be shielding for 2. I think we're always doing a roar. Can we do 1 water, 1 earth as well? Yes, but I can't do the AoE shield on top of that. And I think that's pretty important at the start. So we'll do that and a taunt and see what else we can do after that. That one is 8, that's 12. We will start chipping down the healer, I think. We can blast him, and we should have a ton of sidekick damage out now. We can probably do that, but not a Thorns on top of that. And I think the Thorns makes a lot of sense when we're taunting every turn. We can't do both of these, so I think we'll do another AoE shield here. Oh, the Thorns can actually trigger sidekick as well. Interesting. So you can actually do massive sidekick damage on your own turn, or on their turn, I mean, when they're hitting you. Pretty cool. So Firefang over there. If we can get some sidekick up first, then that should actually finish him. So we will probably do this. And then hopefully that gives him a sidekick stack. Are they doing healing and healing? So I guess we don't really want to do that stuff. We'll just punch them in the face, I guess. End of combat cleanse 2 corruption. I don't think that's super useful. We'll just toss that over there for now. What is that? A blessed pawn. Simple offering of coin, cleanse 1 soul. I don't think we really need to care about that too much. Single targets, purging. I want to get that out of there if we can, which we probably can't. Can do 1 water there. That's about it for now. Oh man, we don't even have any wind ether. That's rough. I guess we'll interrupt the 1 attack over there, but that purge is going to be annoying. Oh wait, what can we generate? 1 wind, 1 earth. So that would let us taunt after this at least. Yeah, I guess we should probably do that then. We can at least get the damage and thorns and generation going over here. Single target, and purging. If we could finish him off, that would be good. Can we do that plus all of that? I think so? Then we'll put the taunt over there. Big single target there, basic attack there. Heal and shield target ally as a free action. That looks pretty good. Single target, cleanse debuffs, and apply sidekick to self. Big damage to a single target, apply sidekick. Oh, that costs a ton, though. It is pretty strong if you can get the interrupts with it. But man, that is expensive. We don't have a ton of fire or earth. So I'm thinking we probably just take one of these. At the same time, we do want this guy to be focused on attacking. I might take this just because of that. I don't know if we could use it a lot, though. As a free action, water and wind. We'll try it. I feel like after we get the generation going on like our second and third turns, we might be able to do that as a free action at least. Afflicted with 3 corruption. So because we already have a lot of that on Jotun, we should probably toss it onto someone else then. cleanse 1 debuff and apply 1 temporary power to target ally. So that would probably make the most sense on the gargoyle, but he already has a pretty solid common. Oh, that actually could work on his free action, actually, that we just grabbed. Okay, that could be pretty cool then. I guess we'll take the cheap one now that we have a bit of corruption spread out throughout our party. Soul Altar. Aid your monsters in the next 2 battles. That doesn't really last very long. Like, maybe if you had one for the boss fights, that would be pretty nice. I guess we'll check out the merchants. Should have a decent amount of gold built up now. Crit and heal, Aether +1, but health is reduced. Craft the memento of a monster. Heal all your monsters and cleanse corruption. That's not bad. We have enough for 1 of these. Heal 1 monster by 15, cleanse 5 debuffs. Wow. Generate double Aether or 1 XP. I feel like some AoE healing and corruption cleansing could be kind of nice since we are focused on actually getting hit and doing thorns damage. Oh, that's the boss. Okay, I guess we should have actually taken the upgrade thing. Oh well. Doesn't seem like there's a cliff around here. Single target and purge. Let's see, if we use that, we can't do the taunting thing, which I'll definitely want. So I guess it would probably be that. I guess we could go ahead and start tossing some of these out to stagger him a little bit faster. Makes sense to shield everyone and then do the taunt on him. We have 4 and 3, so I think we can do this. He's doing 2 basic attacks, huh? And then we get the bonus from his item now that we can actually cast that some. We'll probably always do that, although we could actually stagger him here as well. I guess we're probably doing that here again then. Yeah, I guess we'll probably just punch him in the face this time. So he's shielding and retaliating. He's turning my own magic against me. And then lots of damage and weakness against a single target. We definitely want to taunt that onto our Minotaur. We can do that, it looks like. then we need the winds for the taunts. I'm gonna go ahead and do that so I know what ether we have left. Oh, we actually do have a little bit of extra power here, right? So I could do that. And then shield everyone after that. I think that's fine. He's gonna take a big hit here. $36 Thorns damage. So a huge single target hit and a medium hit with a purge. We can do that, I think. Oh, oops, I put a lot of Thorns damage on him as well. Forgot about that. And then we can still taunt after basically anything here. So we'll taunt, and I guess we may as well do a little bit of AoE healing corruption cleansing with that. Shielding +1 and +5 health. Oh, the shielding's actually pretty crazy for this run then, with his AoE effect that he starts with. Allies with 7 or more shield gain 1 damage and 15% crit chance. That's pretty good. It'll mainly only apply to him currently. Start of your turn, shield all allies for 2. One more time for allies with 50% or less. Start of your turn, monsters less than 8 shield, shield self equal to the difference. I think I'm gonna go here and hope we can get a little bit more generation to get the other 2 up above 7 as well. That would be pretty sick. Start of your turn, shield allies for 3, more on below 50% health. 2 support actions apply power to self. That's actually really good. If he's spamming the AoE shield outs, then his damage will ramp up throughout the fight for his sidekick effects. Instead of shields on allies vanishing at the start of your turn, half of all shields are retained. Okay, that sounds insane. These are all good, but that sounds really, really good. Okay. Medic scroll, what is that? 3 poise. We have 12, so can't really do a lot here. Interrupt chance to apply power to self sidekick damage +1. Only common, though. Can I see what their items are? No, I can't, apparently. But I think we're okay. We can grab a bit of XP. Loot drop epic. Sounds nice. Evasion 25%. Wind +1 on basic attacks. Healing +1, defense +1. I wonder how evasion works with retaliation. The defense would also be pretty good there. Honestly, I'm down to try that and see how it works, I guess. Single target and 2 basic attacks. If we do this, we have to do a basic attack after that, I think. He has 19 shielding. I think he won't actually take that much when you include his defense. Oh, that's actually a lot for a basic attack, 12. Alright, let's toss that out then. What I really want to find is some sort of like multiple redirect for that guy so he can just take every single hit they do. Do one of these onto one of the bats. All enemies. I would like to get that out of there if I can. The guy's doing the same. That's... Oh, that's against target enemy and then the terror to all enemies. Those are both pretty bad. We only have 1 fire damage ability. Oh, right, we have the poise thing. That won't quite be enough, though. I guess we can just stop that for now, then. And then we can taunt that one over at least. 21 damages quite a bit. Can we do that as well? I think so. Thorns damage success. Then we can punch him in the face. Sidekick attacks from allies deal 2x2. What is the base damage on it? 1x4. So the damage is the same, but it will do any sort of on-hit effects more, I guess? Support action, 3 damage hits a target enemy, triggers on-attack effects. So that would work with this free action thing. Every 20 damage absorbed by shields on allies, power to the ally with the lowest amount of power. Okay, we've got to take that one, right? I want all of these, but yeah, that just seems insane for the build here. Shield self for 8, 14 earth against target enemy. Additional damage equal to the amount of shield on this monster. Sidekick to self is a free action. We already have so many free actions, I don't think we can even support that many of them with all the ether costs. Damage against target enemy, sidekick to self, interrupt, apply power to self. Costs 5 ether though. I don't think we can really afford any of these cost-wise. But this one might be interesting if we could build up some decent shield, since the aura we got on the last level, that allows us to carry over a bit of that. Probably just take that just in case. Buff is applied to this monster, chance to apply another stack. I don't think so. What does he have? Cleanse 1 debuff, apply 1 temporary power. Yeah, I think everything's better. Elemental challenge. Shielding +1, nice. 20 damage, 5 damage to self. Shield all allies, cleanse 3 debuffs, apply redirects. Shield all allies and heal them with a debuff. I don't think we can really use any of these a whole lot. Maybe Winter Guard, since that also has redirects. Oh yeah, what are they doing? Basic attack, single targets, and single target redirects. That would leave us with no win, so probably not. So this guy's gonna have to basic attack here, it looks like. Could also interrupt that. Yeah, I guess we may as well. Rar with him. Then we need to get some ether going. They have a lot of taunt spam, apparently. Ooh, that generates a lot of ether and power. We definitely need to get that guy out of here fairly quickly. That should be a lot of damage if we can generate some shielding before that. I think we can do both of those. And then we can actually do that for some more shielding as well. And then that one-shots him. So we can toss one of these out for a bit of sidekick damage on one of them as well. Get fisted. Although the bad part about them not attacking at all is we don't get our ether generation from that guy being hits. So that's actually kind of annoying. Single targets, big single targets. If we could get him out of there, that would be good. I guess we're probably doing a default attack there then. This guy could do a Thorns, but we're punching with him, so it won't really do a ton. Oh, we still had a redirect on him, actually. Support action, convert one random into one wild ether. One sidekick to self. So we can use that on either of these guys. Honestly, I feel like the orb is insane for a common. Plus one ether and then 33% chance on action for another one. That is so good for a common. Cleanse one debuff and apply one temporary power. I guess he's not doing support a ton. So honestly, either of those is fine. I guess we may as well take that. Big single target hits. And single target purge and shielding. That's pretty annoying. Can we get that? I think so. We don't have enough water. So we'd have to do one of these, which I think I'm fine with. Actually, let's do this for the sidekick. And then probably just taunts that. Taunting soup. And then we actually can go for a big one-shot on someone if we want to. For 3 earth. Toss that onto him. And then fist him. And we'll taunt all of that over to him. We can almost one-shot them with that. Can't quite get both of them, it looks like. So if we can finish him to interrupt the heal at least, and then taunt that guy. Can we do that as well? Yes. Eight damage against a single target, cleanse debuffs, apply sidekick. Not too expensive. Heal all allies, cleanse, and 2 sidekick to self. Damage against all enemies, interrupt, apply power to self. Probably here so we have some AoE damage, I think. It's not bad and fairly cheap. Probably grab some AoE for him. Witch, Envoy, and Spring. I guess probably 2 XP? I don't know if there's anything we really want to swap out. Soul Altar. Next 2 battles. See, I just don't remember how long until the boss. I guess what we could do is clear this level out and then pop that. Single target, shielding, and retaliating. And single target that generates Aether. Probably doing that. That would leave us with 1 wind for a taunt if we wanted to do that. We'd start building some stagger on the Grimoire. Yeah, we probably need to start on that. And then we roar at them. Guys, just spamming shielding and retaliation. Single targets and big ritual over there. If we could eat up the redirect over there, we can probably do that. Fortunately, I don't have any fire. I guess we'll probably toss one of these. No, that doesn't quite do it. That leaves us with no water, which would probably be fine. If we attack with the Minotaur, then we can kill that guy. I guess we're gonna have to go for that. We can do that as a free action, and that will actually buff his damage up a bit. So the Stonefist might one-shot with that. No, 2 HP, dang. Alright, so we're gonna have to eat the redirect with this guy. We can do that, I think? Yeah. We can have that up in case they hit him. And then we need to eat the redirects. And then we can kill him before he does the ritual. Can we do that? Yes. Doesn't really do that much though. I think I'd probably rather add the Aether. And this guy just has a basic attack. Probably just go here for some extra Aether then. So big AoE and big single targets. Can we interrupt that? We can do 1 damage to his stagger, so I don't think so. Can we kill him? We would have to get through the redirect there. Oh, wait, that's retaliate. He doesn't have redirects. Okay, so how do we maximize single target there? Stonefist with a bit of extra shielding would be good. Still not quite a one-shot. So we'll have to get some sidekick going then. Wait, he has the retaliate. I don't want to take the damage on him then. I guess Stonefist is kind of overkill now. We definitely want to taunt that, so I'll just do one of these. Oh, you can miss the sidekick. Oops. Well, we have to attack that now. Don't I use any of these? Probably not. Power and lots of Aether, big single targets. I'm just gonna toss that on him for a bit of healing, I think. What is that? Age. Down to 40, that's not bad. We can just taunt everything to him. And just do some big single target there, I guess. Gains aging every 2, applies sidekick to self. Sidekick deals additional equal to the amount of age. That's pretty cool. End of your turn, less than 8 shields. That's not going to happen a ton. Although the Corruption Cleanse isn't bad. Start of your turn, shield all allies for 3. That's not bad. I guess we should probably go here to get some damage scaling as well, though. And then that'll give us a source of aging for any sort of synergy with that as well. Yeah, that does give us an age tech every turn. Yeah, I think that's fine. Sidekick, other allies gain 2 damage. That's quite good. Wind action from any ally, shield that ally for 5. That's quite good as well. Retaliate, shield for 4. Both of these are really good. This will basically always trigger when he does the AoE shield thing. The Minotaur is always doing a wind action. This guy is sometimes doing them. That guy has the free wind action. They're both so good. I think I'm gonna go here. So now, whenever he does the shield thing, he gains sidekick, and then everyone gets a huge damage boost while he has that. We don't actually have a lot to use currently, though. He's gonna heal a lot, he's gonna generate a lot of stuff, but we don't really have a lot for the first turn. Can we do a Thorns on top of that? I think so. And then we roar. Actually, can we use that as my final action so that I have sidekick for the damage buff when he does all of his thorn stuff, I wonder? Oh, I guess sidekick still triggers on the thorn stuff. Alright, can we interrupt anything with that? Not yet. I guess probably not without the thorn stuff going off. Single target, big AoE, and single targets. I probably want to interrupt that guy, so I guess we are doing double water then? Alright, so we can taunt that one now. And we can also do thorns on top of that. I could also do the AoE shield thing now that I think about it. Get some debuff removal as well. Can't do thorns on top of that, so I think that makes more sense. We can bring him down to 2. This build is just so bad at building up stagger, but it does seem fairly effective despite that. Might be better to just finish that guy off. We have tons of shielding built up already anyways. Healing +1, allies healed to full cleanse 2 corruption. Not bad. 2 support actions apply power to self. It's not terrible with a free action. On attack, deal a hit with damage equal to the amount of power. We do have a bit of that now, but not a ton, I think. Leading towards one of these two. I think probably just the power thing. %50 chance for hit +1, debuff mitigation +1. Interesting. We could put that on him. I think that's fine over there since he is my main damage dealer. Sacred Room. Scepter rare. End of your turn, apply 1 temporary power, heal self for 3. Start of your turn, shield self for 2. That doesn't seem that good for a rare? I don't think I'm gonna take that. 1 temporary power, that only lasts for 1 hit. The shielding is okay, but I don't think so. Shielding allies, shield and retaliate, and then single targeted shielding. So we'll probably try and focus him down. We don't have a taunt after that. I guess we always do this. Then we can probably toss one of these to cleanse some corruption across the entire party as well. And do we still want to taunt here? I think so. Big single target there. Shielding and basic attack. We can taunt after that, so that works. Big generation and big single targets. We should be able to finish him. Generation and big single targets. %75% for hit +1, 10% crits, 15% evasion. That will be pretty nice for our damage dealer. Wait, does that work on Stonefist with the +1 hits? 75% chance for an extra 14 damage hit would be insane, right? But this guy is kind of more of a support here, spamming the AoE shield, but that would be insane if it works like that. Tome Epic. Single target attack applies 2 weakness, power chance 20%. 2 weakness to a random enemy, initial sidekick +1. I like the double Aether so much on him. It would probably have to be him since he's the main one attacking. The power chance is pretty nice. I don't know if that's worth it. But it's epic, so whatever. And then there was that temporary thing on this level, right? That's the monster thing. How many souls do I have? I can't even see. Power, age, or heal. I guess aging probably makes sense for the full shield tank build. How do you see how many souls you have? I legitimately have no idea. Loot drop epic or merchant? How much? Oh, that must be it right there. 1 soul and 48 gold. I don't know what the claw is. Epic belt interrupt applies power, water generator, and earth damage. I don't think so. Not really doing a ton of basic attacks. Or really interrupting much, my stagger is so bad. Sport action, cleanse 2 debuffs, 1 temporary power. Monster soul. Heals and cleanses. Heals all monsters, cleanses corruption. Purge Aether. That's not bad since it's half price. We could do that and some XP probably. Oh, that's the boss, right? So maybe those altars only appear on the level right before the boss, so if you time them correctly, then all of your boons will help with them, so that's actually not bad then. Fire, so we don't want to do that. Wait, that's my guy. Because Wild Aether goes into his massive AoE attack that also gives permanent power. So avoid that if possible. That leaves us with 1 wind. He is doing big single target and basic attack. We can't do that, but I think the basic attack is fine anyways. Then we roar over here. We can also thorns on top of that. So avoid Earth if possible, big AoE, and big single target. We definitely want to taunt that. If we could stagger the AoE off, that would be pretty nice. We need to do Wind and Earth for that, and Earth isn't great. Then we need Earth. So I guess we'll toss one of these to interrupt the AoE. Then it's just the big single targets which we can't taunt anymore. Water and fire won't really work. But I definitely wanted that big AoE out of there, especially with the permanent power. So fire with a big AoE and a big single targets. Can't interrupt him now, so best we can do is like shield up and taunt that. If we're avoiding fire, then it's just the Aqua Pounce. This is fine to use. Toss that on our lowest shield, I guess. We can use Thorns, actually. And then we roar. And he commits Sudoku on the Thorns, fitting. Eight damage against single enemy, redirect to self. Shield allies, age to all allies with age, which would only be himself currently. Shield ally for 14. Retaliate generates 1 random ether and cleanses 3 debuffs from this monster. If that had redirect on it, that would be pretty nice, but I think I would only really take this so that we have like an offensive plus redirect combo. I just don't really see myself using those a ton. Oh, you can only have 4, it looks like. Which didn't really happen in the demo since you were a lot more limited on levels. Would I replace any of these with that? It's almost the same cost as that, but that has a lot of synergy with the gargoyle. Honestly, I don't think I would. I think we probably just take the health then. 12 damage, interrupt, apply sidekick to self, 2 sidekick to self, and 2 temporary power to all allies. Massive ether damage, interrupt, apply power. I don't think we can really afford any of these, and he's mostly spamming out the AoE barrier anyway, since we have all the synergy with that. I would maybe go there, but I just don't really see myself casting that much. Heal ally free action. That is pretty expensive for a single target. Does give sidekick on interrupts. I don't think we really have enough ether generation for those. The free action he has does shielding, which I think fits the build more. So we got a rare orb, but that might be worse than the common one we have. Because that has the ether chance, which is pretty nice. Single targets, if the enemies have 5 or more ether, purge 1. Initial power +1. Probably just XP, to be honest. Random, loot drop epic, and envoy. Garden districts. Epic for an epic equipment. I mean, I guess we'll take the common. That's such a good common, though. Oh well. Oh, you do at least get to choose between a few of them. Support action, heal the ally with the lowest health +7. And then some junk after that. Shield self for 4, temporary power, crit chance. Support action, cleanse 4 debuffs, apply 1 temporary power. That sounds kind of nice. Yeah, I think just cleansing debuffs on his shield thing would be pretty good. Ooh, never seen those guys before. Start of your turn, apply sidekick to this monster, 2 essence to its attached minions. Cannot learn any attacks. Increase max health by 1 when used for the first time each combat? What the heck? Alright, we need to capture that guy and try a build with him. That is crazy. 1 or more force evades the first hit of an attack, has retaliates or damage. And then everything builds up force, and then he has massive single target damage over there. Oh, we definitely want to capture the flying kitty. 2 poison, big single targets, shield self. If we could interrupt him, that'd be decent. Or actually him because of the big ether generation. Oh man, we can't even do the earth thing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna regret giving up that orb, to be honest. And then we're gonna have to basic attack over here. And then we roar. And then this should cleanse some debuffs now, right? Okay, so it looks like it chooses one of them to do the 3 cleanses on. And then now what can we do? Leaves us with 1 wind, which is fine. That would interrupt one of them, giving us power. That's not bad. Can we do anything else with that? I think so. Lots of buffing with that. Shielding there. And then we are definitely taunting here. No, we don't really gain that much from taunting, actually. So we'll start building up stagger on that guy then. Single targets and buffing. We might have to pop a scroll on that guy to even stagger him, so that I can then capture him. I think we can fit this in. Oh, you can't do that on the same turn. That's kind of annoying. I guess Roar is fine. Sidekick, heal, and summon. I've never seen the summon tag before. On attack, deal a hit with damage equal to half this monster's shield. Okay, that's crazy. Oh wait, it's when he attacks. After any attack. That might work with sidekick then. Start of your turn, shield all allies. Sidekick attack from allies, deal 2/2. I don't remember if I have anything that triggers on that. So I think we're going here then, in case that works with sidekick. Sounds pretty crazy. It's really hard to see, like, enemies and items under, like, the terrain and stuff in this game, I will say. Oh, there's some money over there. Every 9 ether consumed applies dodge to this monster. Each attack consumes a dodge stack to gain 30% crits and 3 crit damage. One of 3 wish actions that have not been used in this combat yet. Sounds pretty interesting as well. How many can you capture? Okay, so it looks like 2 total. So yeah, I guess we'll grab him since that wish thing sounds pretty interesting as well. Now, how do we stagger him? This guy can Thorns and Taunt, so we'll probably do that and then basic attack over there, I guess. Huh, I guess we don't actually gain anything from taunting. So we're probably ice smashing then. Single targets, healing and cleansing. And big single targets. And it does bonus against shield, so yeah, if we could take that guy out, that would be good. The AoE would be pretty nice if we could get it to an interrupt. We can use the scroll to get it over there, I guess. Don't think we can do anything on top of that. We can't do both of those, so I guess we're probably just going scroll plus that. I guess we don't have to. Yeah, we'll probably just do some side kicking then. So I guess that makes sense. And then, does taunting do anything here? Yes. Doing the weird wish thing again and some buffing, so not a lot we could even do against them. I don't feel like that's even going to do anything. Let's just build up some ether, I guess. It would be nice if we could stagger the Birdman so that I can capture him. Or maybe I should save that for the boss, now that I think about it. Bosses are generally pretty unique, and I have no idea what the third biome guy is gonna do, so that might actually be smarter. We can nearly one-shot them with that, so this would probably be pretty good then. That does nothing if he has no allies. Aging every 3 age applies redirect and shield self. Okay, that sounds insane now that we have some of that already. I really want that. Retaliate, shield self, cleanse corruption. Attack deal hits with damage equal to half this monster's shield. Okay, I want all of these, but I think more redirect and more shielding sounds really good. Like, we're kind of limited by the amount of redirect I can get on him. Epic Talisman. 25% chance for another buff stack. Earth and fire generation. So if we're actually basic attacking with that person, then we can get a lot of extra ether there. Which would probably be the doggo. Definitely not him, he's basically always taunting, he's basically always support actioning. So do I replace the tome with that? Earth is pretty helpful. Fire helps with his AoE attack. The weakness on Tome attack is super nice. I'm not sure here. I guess we'll try it. Retaliate, cleanse 1 debuff. Every 4 debuffs cleanse, trigger an attack that deals damage and applies affliction to each enemy. Okay, that sounds awesome. Regeneration heals its monster for 10% max health rounded up. Doesn't trigger at the start of turn. On attack, triggers regeneration on self and deals damage. Okay, I think we will try and capture that guy because he has the summon synergy with the other guy we just got. So that would make sense to try for a builds. So that's him, Wind. Yeah, what are they doing? Buffing, defaults, and big AoE. So taunting doesn't really do a ton here. If we basic attack, then we can stagger him with one of the scrolls, so we don't take so much AoE damage. Buffing, big single target and some regen. Big AoE, we want to finish him off pretty badly. If we can finish him with the basic attack and get some Aether at the same time, that's pretty nice. We can taunt after doing that. Yeah, we definitely want that on the Minotaur. We only need 1 wind, but also if I do that, I can stagger him and capture him now. So I'm probably gonna take that. That guy's just buffing again. And then now we'll be able to do a full summon build in the future. That guy's just spam buffing. That guy's doing single targets. Could do a big one there after that, but just attacking with both of them would probably do more. Healing +1, cleanse 2 corruption, 3 attacks, apply power to self. Sidekick attack from allies, deal 2/2. Oh, I guess those two would work together then. You'd get twice as many attacks from the sidekicks, and then you would ramp that up much faster. But I think I would probably just take that for now. Cultivation. No breathing. At least one maverick skill. I mean, I guess we're gonna try Jotun since we're trying to build around him. I guess probably tank type so that we get stuff based on him being hit. Either Spring, Envoy, or Cook. Wild Aether. Shield all allies for 10. Those are both pretty nice. I think probably the Void Crystal for the early turns when we don't really have any Aether. And then that kind of helps us get shielding anyways. Why is there so much glowy stuff you can't even use? Redirect and healing. Healing and Aether. And lots of AoE damage. I would like to interrupt that if we can. We don't really have a whole lot here. I guess we'll pop this and toss some fire on him and hope that it works. Fire plus sidekick, maybe? So we'll do this first. For his sidekick stacks. But I don't think we're gonna be able to stop that. We can bring him down to 2. Taunting doesn't really do much here. Does Retaliate work on AoE? Monsters attacked or non-attack damage. So I guess that should work. It would only hit him. I don't know if that does a ton. Big single targets, buffing, and big AoE. Probably always doing this for shielding and debuff cleansing. And we can stagger with a Fang. Can we do this as well? I think so. And he gains extra damage from shielding now. Wait, does the AoE thing work here? That would give us some power and some extra damage. And then we want to taunt that. Again, thorns on top of that. Big single targets and buffing. We can bring that guy down to 1 stagger. Probably just building up sidekick stuff for now. Although we can stagger him and then he doesn't really do much on his own. Single targets and buffing. Psychic damage +1, nice. And then we get the Maverick level for this guy. Shield self for 14. So this is an upgrade to something we already have, but it takes different ether, it looks like. Shield ally free action. I don't know if we can even use any of these. This would be good, but it's so expensive. I don't think we have the generation to support that. Also, we only have aging on him as well. I don't think we can really use any of these. It's better than that, but twice expensive and a different type. I guess we could replace that and basic attack slightly more. I don't know. I don't think we can really fit anything in. Shield all allies, heal all allies with a debuff. That's actually pretty cheap for a lot of AoE shielding. Temporary power, heal, cleanse, free action. Shields 2 for each power stack. I think we could use that. It's a bit more expensive, and we lose the temporary power. I guess we could probably replace Stonefist. It's cool, but we don't really use it enough. And then with a different ether type, we can always do an AoE shield on him, which is kind of what we're going for anyways. I guess that... Actually, we could just replace the Hurricane Punch. And then still have that as the big finisher. That's kind of cool. Garden Protector. I don't think we even have 2 souls, but we don't really have much corruption right now anyways. One or more shielded allies can attack, trigger poison on the enemy, and applies force to the attacked allies. Shielding and poison, shielding, and single targets. This is weird. 2 super tanky comps, I guess. We can taunt that. And then I guess we start building up stagger there? Single targets, and single targets. Basic attack and shielding. Do I want to mineralize or... Oh, we got rid of his wind attack, so I guess all we can do is really shield then. That should be a lot of damage when they attack him, though. Shielding again. Big single target over there. Support action, heal the lowest ally, water generator, wind damage. I don't think so. He's the main one using support. I like the cleansing. We're not really basic attacking much. I don't think so. Give gold and receive ether crystals. I think that's the meta currency. Probably not. $66, so that's time to go to a merchant. Half-price meteorites. Support converts 1 ether into wild ether shield cell for 4. Maybe. Cleanse 2 debuffs, supply 1 temporary power. Buff, 25% chance to duplicate, debuff cleanse, earth damage health. Support action heals the lowest health ally. 1 random ether heals and shields them for 7. I would maybe put that on the gargoyle. Sure, let's try it, I guess. Then some XP. Free action, cleanse, and apply sidekick. Oh, it generates 1 random ether. And then I think we had something that was wind synergy. So this would cost almost nothing at the cost of a little bit of shielding. Honestly, I think that's fine. It's easier to use. So we'll replace that, and it'll be a lot cheaper, I think. Easier to use support synergy. Oh, here we go, the third boss. Gains aging at the end of your turn. 3 or more age stack triggers an attack against each enemy for every 3 age stacks and applies weakness. Minion damage +1, 1 additional minion. So this guy also scales up throughout the fights. It's doing single target, lots of ether generation. So I guess we'll do some of that. And then this costs almost nothing and has some support-based synergies, I think, and wind-based synergy. We can toss that over there. Three weakness. So this guy will probably just shield everyone for the sidekick stuff. And then this guy is probably taunting and thorning. This guy can do that. I guess we might not be able to thorns after that. We can with the wild ether. That would leave us with 1 wind, so yeah, that works. That's a cool attack animation. Just uppercuts you. Big single target damage and applies age to self, so we really want to interrupt that so he ramps up slower. And then AoE damage. Probably just this. And then also that, since it's almost free. And then can we stagger him? I think so, if we do a scroll on top of that. Looks like we have to do this first. Then he's just doing the AoE. Probably makes more sense to basic attack. Do I want a Thorns here? I guess so. Single target damage and age with no way to interrupt it now. Shielding self and applies age. Uh-oh. So we toss some of this out now. Then we shield over here most likely. We could actually heal him quite a bit with that. It also kind of costs a lot of ether. target enemy, so he can taunt that. Oh, I should have actually cleansed the weakness off of that. Oops. Too late now. And then we rar. And then he punches himself. So he's going to start punching us with the aging thing now. That's going to hurt quite a bit. But also he'll punch himself more as well. Big single targets, and summons a minion. Can you attack the minions? Doesn't look like it. Probably just mineralize over here still. Wind and water. That's gonna be pretty hard to stagger. We could do some of that. I guess it's fine. Then we need to taunt the big single target there. We can thorns? Yeah, we can taunt with the wild ether up there. Rar. And then he punches himself a bunch. And then he punches us a bunch. And then can we cleanse the weakness now? That uses a lot of our stuff, but I think that's probably worth it. Oh wait, can I thorns on top of that? Yes, we won't have a lot of other stuff left, but I think that works. And then those guys will do more damage with the weakness gone. Oh, we should toss out some more healing things. How much does that do? 40? Can we finish them here, actually? 114. It looks like we have the kill with the Stone Fist. Nice, we got a level up after the final boss, I think. That would have been pretty good. That would have been pretty good. Those are all pretty good. But I think we're at the end now. Oh, you can only have 4 passes as well, okay. Not sure all of these are really good. Is there more? Uh-oh. common equipment. Consume all ether, generate 7. That's pretty good at the start, to be honest. Reactivates target monster. Damage absorbed applies H to self. That's actually pretty good now that he has several things for that. Shield self for 5. Every 2 H generates wild ether. I think that makes sense. Definitely like that. I guess maybe that one? Yeah, that fits with those two quite nicely. So it would have to be that one. I thought there were supposed to be 3 zones now. Close to the origin. Is there another final boss and that was just a fake out? Okay, there's cool music. This must be the final boss then. No, my ether, stop! Enemies special, their arms can be attacked and have traits. That sounds pretty ominous. Immune to damage can only be staggered. Temporarily removes them from the fight. Curses a random monster of yours, corrupting its actions. When random enemy is chosen, all non-basic actions will become corrupted. 15. Until this arm is staggered? What the heck? Immune to damage, cannot gain buffs or debuffs, can only be temporarily knocked out through being staggered for 3 rounds. Yeah, I'm lost. So we really don't want to use anything there or there? What the heck? Like, Corrupted is the thing that reduces your max HP, right? Corrupted 15. I'm not sure what that means, since that's how much HP you start the fight with. It's just basic attacking for now. We don't have the fire for that stuff. There's no debuff, so we can't cleanse it. I mean, I guess we Thorns and Taunt here. So it removes the corruption if you stagger them, right? Or until this arm is staggered. Can we even stagger any of them? My build is so bad at staggering. We can do 1 stagger. That doesn't really help. What's he doing? 5 terror. And massive single targets, so we kind of have to taunt. I don't know how I fight this guy. We can do 2 stagger to both of them? I mean, I guess. I don't feel like I'm really doing a lot here. Probably just shield with this guy. I mean, we're gonna need the stagger on the arms at some points. Oh wait, can we do this on the blue one? And then do I take the corruption on the attack that staggers it? And then we have to taunt this thing so we don't just get blasted here. Shields for 12, that does 8 on himself. I'm guessing we like just die or something if we go down to maximum corruption. I don't really understand this fight without having seen it before though. Unless there's like more fights after this or something. So he just removed corruption from me, what? Oh, he summoned copies of my guys for that. What the heck is happening? Stopping all corruption. Build himself created 2 corruption copies based on the amount of corruption. 2 arms now have the ability to steal 1 action. Bro, what the heck is happening? This is insane, man. I mean, I feel like we have to AoE every time because there's 5 targets. Can we stagger one of the arms on top of that? That one is Earth. I think that's the only one active right now. I'd bring it to 2. So I guess that would work. I don't know what we do about those guys. I guess just taunt and hope for the best. Wait, can I basic attack that? No. We have to do that, right? Or wait, we can scroll it. And then we need to deal with these guys. They have all of the buffs that I had, so we definitely need that guy out of there, I guess. And then we taunt on him, I think. We can thorns on top of that. Oh, we could actually stagger him as well. Probably taunt. So we have a free turn without the arms, at least. He's doing single target damage, so taunting that, and then probably AoEing with this guy. Can we do one of these? I don't think so. One random ether. Oh, we do have a bunch of wild ethers, so that's fine actually. Can get any sort of support synergies I have with that. Don't really need the healing though. Probably just keep doing big shields for all of the sidekick synergy. Then, do we want to thorns here? May as well. And then we rar. Do corruption on my damage dealer. We need 5 fire to stagger that, which is probably impossible. So we'll start with some cheap shielding over here. Oh wait, we have the scroll, and then we can do the AoE to stagger him and get some power off that. That should work. And then we break it with that, and we gain the power from that. So we're at least steadily ramping up the power. He's doing single target damage. We can taunt with the wild ether after that. Rawr. Now he has a big doggo and a red hand back with water ether. We need 2 more to get that out of the way. But we can also bring the doggo very low. Probably always doing a shield over here for the sidekick stacks. And then how does the damage look after that? 19. We could probably basic attack for that. Then go for the hand on the next turn, maybe? I can't attack him. Why can't I attack him? Why can't I inspect the boss anymore? And why can't I attack the summon? What is happening? Yeah, I can't attack my dog clone? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, I guess he's gonna do a lot of single target. I can't see his... Okay, there we go. So 40 damage. That's gonna hurt. But we probably need to get the dog out of there. So that's gonna be a basic attack over here. We could get one of those out of the way to stagger that on the next turn. I can't attack the dog. There's like a bug with activating your abilities on him for some reason. So he summoned a 3 HP Minotaur. And we should be able to stagger the hand now. And then this should give us a bunch of power as well. We'll do this first for the sidekick stacks. And then he's not doing anything, it looks like, so I guess we punch him in the face. Or shield and get some redirects ready for later. We have 5 up already, so I guess it makes more sense to punch him in the face. Corruption on that guy with 5 earth. I don't think we can stop that. Start popping some wild ether in case I ever need that. And then I guess we'll slowly whittle it down with that and just basic attack with this guy for now so the summons aren't too bad. Actually, wait, we might have been able to kill there. 59? He probably dies to the Thorns damage here then. So we may as well do this. And this. And then when he hits me here, he should probably die, I think. Or wait, we can literally just punch him in the face. We don't even have to wait for the thorns. Okay, that's gotta be the final boss now, right? That was a lot of worthiness. Victory! How do you select a monster here? Oh, there's arrows on there. So 1258 on our tank. Lots of damage prevented. This guy was shielding us a lot and getting sidekick stacks. And then this guy was also doing a lot of sidekick and also doing a lot of attacks. Kind of had a bit of support on everyone, to be honest. Free actions on him and him. But yeah, pretty cool game. Lots of extra stuff in early access now. I think A single run is starting to get kind of long, but you can actually save and quit in the middle of it and resume at any time. It's just kind of annoying to do videos for it. I don't think you really want to break it into 2 parts for that. But if you're just playing on your own, you can just save and leave off wherever you feel like, so pretty nice quality of life there. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Or will I?